little bonus video this week because I need this for one of my classes. We're going to take an up-close look at the skeleton. So here we've got Stan, our standard model skeleton. It's worth pointing out, as always, that any anatomical model is either one individual who's going to be unique and have idiosyncrasies like anybody else, or it's an imaginary average. Neither of those is necessarily going to be the same as how you're built. But the basic structure and where everything connects and what connects to what, it's going to be pretty common, pretty universal. So that hole that you can see just behind the jaw, that's your ear canal. So that's where your auditory nerves go in to your brain. Then we have the jaw in front of that. And within an inch is where the skull connects to the top of the neck. It's called your atlanto-occipital joint, where the occiput of the skull, that lower back bit, connects to the atlas, which is the nickname for C1, the top cervical vertebra. We're going to go down to hip joints. Notice that where you would consider the top of the pelvis, where you would put your hands on your hips kind of belt level, is not where the leg connects and where the actual ball and socket joint is. So here's how that moves. The knee is a hinge. It doesn't like to go backwards. So that goes forward. We have ankle movement, all the little foot bones, which are very similar to our hand bones, which is how they evolved. Just different limb organizations. I'll show you the other side. These are a little hard to balance with one hand. Now we're going to look at the shoulder. So where the shoulder actually connects to the sternum is at the collarbone connection, sternoclavicular joint. And notice that the first rib forms an X with the collarbone. So the first rib attaches below the collarbone in the front, then goes around and attaches above the collarbone in the back. That goes out to the shoulder blade, which is a very complex little piece of kit. It's got these two little prongs. So where the arm actually attaches is only to the shoulder blade. We have the elbow. Stan does not bend very well at the elbow, so I can't demonstrate that very well. But he does have the two arm bones. We can see how those rotate around each other to give rotation in the arm, in the front forearm. Then we have the palm, all the little bones, similar to feet, and the back of the hand. And this back of the hand is what gives us a good view on all the nice movements that can happen at the wrist. So here's where the head connects to the neck. This back view lets us see that the head really rests on two little rocking chairs, and that sits on the top cervical vertebra, C1, also called the atlas. Two little rocking chairs into two little cups. Now, Stan has a bolt through his neck, so he can't nod, but this right in there is where that nodding, that small nodding motion happens between the ears. Rotation is down here for small rotations. Anything bigger is going to happen lower down in the rest of the neck and then down the back. But that's the only movement the back of the head can do. Just that little nod. That's the only thing your skull is able to do without getting vertebrae involved. So now a zoomed out back view. And we can go into this area we already looked at a bit. Get a different angle there, looking at it. Head to neck connection, very important part of the body there. We have the spine going down, and Stan is molded from a real person, so he is unique and has idiosyncrasies, and you can see that just in the way that his backbones are. So the spinous process is the bit that sticks out. That's the nubby part of your spine that you can feel with your fingers on yourself. His are uneven and unequal because he's a real person and no one is an anatomical imaginary average. Well, he was a real person. He's plastic now. So down here we have the sacroiliac joints, left and right. So the ilium refers to the upper parts of the pelvis, those two kind of wing bits on top. And then the sacrum is that big shield part, that low part of the spine below the lumbar spine. A lot of people, anatomy people, will tell you that that joint doesn't move except in cases of pregnant women. And I'm here to tell you that for people with hypermobility, you bet it sure does, and it hurts when that happens. So we work with strengthening that area and not letting it move. Down here you've got your nice rib connections, including your two floating ribs. Those are the two that don't connect to the sternum in the front. Back up to top of the head. So I hope that was a helpful little tour of Stan the Skeleton Man. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or interesting things you want to look at in more detail in the future.